From the Mammoth Community Desk, I'm Les Helton. We're talking with Jean-Luc Ponty, probably the most influential and well-known jazz violinist in the world, with many, many collaborations with such artists as Elton John, Frank Zappa, Chick Corea, and Stanley Clarke, and over 35 solo albums. It's easy to understand how that status was achieved. Today, Jean-Luc has teamed with singer-songwriter and co-founder of the band Yes, John Anderson, to form the Anderson Ponty Band, which plays the Wheeler Opera House this Saturday, September 20th. Jean-Luc, you've had so many collaborations and yet done so much solo work. Between working with another creative guidance or steering the music yourself, which do you prefer?
I like both. I started as a young musician, of course, very eager to meet and play with new musicians all the time, and especially in jazz. That's what it is about. I was going around clubs, whether it was in France and Europe first, and then in America, and would just come with my violin and jam with musicians. And indeed, after a while, I started to have a vision of going somewhere else and started to create my own music, composing. Being a composer became a major part of my life.
Turning to your current project, it seems somehow inevitable that you and John Anderson would someday get together. Have you ever worked with him before?
Never, but we met. We crossed paths a few times in the 70s first, when I was in the Mahavishnu Orchestra with John McLaughlin, and we played on the same show with Yes, maybe a couple of times. And then in the 80s, I remember crossing paths with him in the offices of Atlantic Records. And I told him how much I admired his creative songwriting and singing, and he returned the compliment, saying he liked my violin playing and music a lot, and that he even suggested then that we should do something together at some point. And the day has come. It was many, many years later, but as John says, better late than never. And it's true that we have many musical affinities. Of course, also different experiences, but the musical affinities we have are what allow us to be able to collaborate and do some music together.
Do you think that affinity is the most important factor in this current team-up?
Yes, because otherwise it would be hard to understand each other, and especially to create new music together, because we are, we take some classics, either of what he wrote for Yes, or of mine from my early albums, but we are not just playing them the way they were. We start from the whatever melody that was, and develop it into something new, completely different, and together. So in order to achieve that, yes, we need to have a musical understanding. Otherwise, it would not be possible. Or it could lead to a music that goes in too many directions.
There are other heavy hitters in this band as well. Guitarist Jamie Dunlap, Wally Minko on keyboards, Baron Brown on bass, and drummer Rayford Griffin, all of whom have impressive credentials of their own. The Anderson Ponty Band plays the Wheeler Opera House this Saturday, September 20th. Tickets are available at the Wheeler box office and online at aspenshowtix.com. Jean-Luc, thank you for taking a few minutes with me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Tomorrow we'll talk with the other major player in the Anderson Ponty Band, John Anderson. So be here tomorrow morning on KSNO. I'm Les Helton from the Mammoth Community Desk.